Welcome to today's episode. Today's episode is about finding clarity, being more productive, and staying consistent. Now, this is really, really important for anybody who feels overwhelmed and stuck and just feeling like, I don't know where to start. The clarity part is finding the one thing that's yours, and I'm telling you, it's only yours. Nobody else has the ability to tell you what's going to work for you. When I gave this shiur in my house, I found that everybody was super excited about it and that they wanted a guide. So I created the 3 Steps to Clarity guide and I put it up online, and you can download it for free. It's there to help you find the clarity. I felt like davening was a thing for me. Now, in the clarity guide, you're going to see there's 3 steps to clarity, because finding clarity is very nice. You find the thing that you need to do, but you have to specify it. Make it very specific. Make it very, very personal to you. So for me, if I didn't daven Shachris, I had to daven Mincha. And the thing that I made very specific is that I'm actually only counting Shmona Esrei. So it doesn't matter what I did before or after, if I added things or made it very, very short, I had to have Shmona Esrei. Step 2 is being more productive. What I want you to realize is that when you have clarity, you know you have to tap into this one thing in order for it to flow, in order for things to just go and work and not be choppy and overwhelming. Once you find what it is that you need to do, now the next step is to be kind to yourself and to understand that you're not going to get it perfect the second you decide. This is something that was very hard for me because I like things to be perfect. Trying and realizing that it's just not working. I'm just not consistent and it's not my thing. So it was very discouraging, and I had to really find that kindness inside to say it's okay that you're not 100%, but it's not okay that because you're not 100%, you then don't try at all. You get 0%. Number 3 is staying consistent. Consistency, all it means is just that you're doing something over and over and over again. If you don't start, you're never going to be consistent. It's like saying, I'm not going to start exercising until I'm fit. You know, like that doesn't work like that. You're not going to start being consistent overnight, but you are going to be able to build up the muscle of consistency when you start doing something consistently. Something I found that I want to share with you is the bujo, bullet journaling. So most people do it in a notebook and they have it all organized and it's really nice and neat. I didn't find that to be the case for me. I actually like that it's just a 1-pager. And what I did with this loose page is I designed it the way I wanted it to be. So I got a page that has dots, and those dots are sort of like guides. I designed it according to the Jewish month because I decided that if it was mine, I could do whatever I want. I don't have to follow anything that works for other people. And I really wanted, because I was starting on Rosh Hashana, I wanted to be able to see it flow throughout the year, and I was really focused on making sure that I follow through. So I designed it really pretty. I made it black and white because I knew that there was no way that I could start playing with color, especially with having a life. I had a black pen. I used it. It was great. So what I did was I made little squares along the whole top of the page, and each square got a date. So Tishrei was Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, and so on all the way until Lamed. And what happened was I started filling it out every day that I davened. For me, the clarity was davening. And so every day that I davened, I marked the appropriate box, and every day it started building up. Now, you have to look at them. They're not very consistent. But then once I had to go plug it in and look at it again and again, it reminded me that there is tomorrow. There's another chance, and I have to just keep going. So the thing about tracking it, which is so, so important, is that it gives you that overview that you could look at it from on top and say, wow. Just because I missed one day does not mean I have to stop. It also gave me a lot of motivation because suddenly I had 3 days in a row and then a white. They're called chains in the Bujo language. That's one thing that tracking does, is it motivates you to be able to stay on track. Tracking, get it? And not fall behind and say, oh, this is so frustrating, you know, or I can't do it, or say things to myself that I'm sure other people say all the time. I am not the only person who talks to myself, I am sure, and I'm also not the only person who's not very kind to myself. which I'm also sure. And there's a beautiful book that I never read, but I love the title. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And I thought that was hysterical and very, very true, that we have to learn how to talk to ourselves and how to be kind, because it's not very natural for us to be kind to ourselves as much as it is to be kind to other people. I found that through this process, I was able to see the things in a bigger picture. Each cube and each box that I had sort of felt like I'm building something and I'm starting something and it's starting to take its own shape. Now then, you have to hear, I started getting really good, and this motivated me. I started getting really consistent, and I had a whole month of all black, and I felt like, wow, I'm like, this is amazing, I did it, I'm done, I'm like, woohoo! And then one day, boom, I failed. I forgot to daven one Friday. I felt like, that's it, it's over. I was on a good track, and I just killed it. And I was so frustrated, and I was really, really upset. I went back to the paper, and I looked at it, and I had all these blacks, and suddenly, boom, a white on a Friday. And then I remember thinking, well, let's count the ones before and make it a chain and think, can I break this chain? So I just got into this good mood instead of bad mood of trying to, like, sort of a competition, see how much better I could do this time and give myself another chance. When you look at it in a big picture type of thing like that, then suddenly you realize that a long time went by. It wasn't like I was in the same place I was when I just started. It's not just the way we think when we feel it in the moment of now. It's a much bigger picture, and you see progress, and that progress gives you so much joy, and you see more progress and more progress. And now at this point, I've been telling myself, great, I got it. I am davening every day. I have nothing to worry about. I don't have to track anymore. But there is where the Yetzer Hara is going to get you. Don't give up the tracking just because you're doing well. Just like with antibiotics, just because you feel good does not mean you beat it, okay? This is really important, because once you start feeling good, like, oh, okay, it's, you know, it's great. I got into it. Now it's part of my second nature. I'm in it. It's my habit, blah, blah, blah. Don't let that fool you. The Yetzer Hara is going to go boom right there. So I continued tracking, and yes, I did stay consistent most of the time. I sometimes have one here, one there that I miss, but on a big scale, when I look at it from far away, and I'm really just excited to see the progress. The most exciting thing is that it's almost the end. It's almost Rosh Hashana, and I can actually feel the difference. I can actually see that last year Rosh Hashana I started, and this year Rosh Hashana is coming, and I have a full year of something, that one thing that I tracked, that I actually was able to see progress in. The side effect of all this, you know, because everything has a side effect. When I started davening every day, which was my clarity, it was my obvious thing I had to do in order to stay focused. The backstory is that I had just had a baby, and Elul, I was, you know, recovering, everything's great. Now my baby is 6 weeks old. Rosh Hashana came, and I felt like if I don't do something that is very, very specific to me, like the self-care that I need in order to stay focused, I am going to fall into, you know, like blue days. So I didn't want that. It's my 6th child, and I know that people think, oh, don't worry, you had so many kids, you already know how it is. It's never, you never let your guard down. Never let yourself think that just because you're already good at this, it's not going to happen to you. You always, always, always have to stay aware so that it doesn't happen to you. Back to our story, davening Shmoneh Esrei almost every day the entire year made it that I had this new connection with Hashem, new old connection with Hashem. I was able to talk to Him. I was able to communicate the things I need. I was able to listen better to the things that He wanted of me. And so this is how I am here today. Last year I was a graphic designer. I was doing really well. I was like on this track of it's all good, right? But I started davening, and I started feeling this calling and this unfolding of something that I did not expect. There's a lot of beautiful stories that I'm going to try to share maybe in the blog and connectedforreal.com. Maybe I'll, you know, if you follow me on Instagram, you've been following a little bit of that progress and that progression of how my journey is unfolding. But I realized that Hashem really wants me to share with people the real, authentic, for real me that is just like everybody else, that is trying to find clarity, trying to be productive, trying to stay consistent. These are things that everybody has. And yes, I am a Rebbitzin, but that doesn't make me not human. And I help other people, but helping other people gives me the ability to help myself, to then help other people more. So we have clarity, productivity, and consistency, which go hand in hand with this beautiful, beautiful journey that I went through. I can tell you davening worked for me, but everybody else was giving me answers. And this year we had people say that they had to go to sleep on time. There was someone else who said, I have to wake up on time. Forget about sleep. The other one said that putting in her contacts instead of her glasses, she feels like she's walking in pajamas when she has her glasses on. This is such a personal thing because I don't even understand. I can't put myself in those shoes to know that that's the thing that will make a difference for her. I am Bat-Chen Grossman, and I want you to be connected for real. Thank you.